profile level, it's not really that big a deal for that caching, because you're going to be, you don't really have any insight into that anyway.
Sure.
But there's other caching. Lots of the images get cached by Facebook. So when it renders FBML out, it will actually cache the images and do a few things like that to help. Yeah.
Just one quick one with regards scalability you mentioned at the end. So from what I've seen, is most people just using general purpose web servers to serve the FBML?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm using Ruby on Rails, and most of the apps I've built have actually been PHP, and they're essentially out-of-the-box frameworks, and they run on your normal kind of web server. It's just it may be a little bit more resource intensive, and if your app takes off, it's going to be a lot more resource intensive. Yeah. So, yeah.
And there's no one's approached that from the other point of view of building like specialised.
There's a company called Joyent who do their sort of virtualized hosting, and they're offering free Facebook accounts for 1 year. So if you've got a Facebook app, you can deploy it on their infrastructure, and it's sort of...
That's all it's serving.
Yeah. But yeah, there's sort of... It's normal web serving kind of world.
Okay. Cool.
I just wondered if you'd come up against any of the privacy rules about retention of data and how you've got around those.
Basically, don't retain any data. That's the easiest way to handle it, and that's essentially what Facebook say. You can store the user ID, and that's about it. And then what I've been doing is when the user comes to when they add the application, they immediately go into your app, and that's where you can request specific information. And then as part of your app terms of service, you can say, well, if you give us your email when you add the app, then we're going to spam you for the rest of your life.
That's a snapshot of their data at that point in time.
So yeah, the rule basically is you can use the user's identifier to grab information live, which again, if you're relying on that live information, you might need to, you're essentially going to be constantly going back to the server to request all of that stuff. So I think you can cache it for 24 hours, but they're very strict on those kind of issues.
So if you have like an opt-in where someone provides information when they sign up, then you can continue to...
Yeah, because that information's outside then the Facebook profile.
And they
data.
Specifically opted in to provide it.
And they've opted in to provide an email.
Because when the app's live, you can get hold of their data, can't you?
When the app's live, you can grab some data, but things like contact information, you're never going to be able to get. Facebook, one, they want to protect the users, and they also want you to use their internal messaging for those kinds of messages. Mm-hmm. So they've actually done a lot of work recently on the spam protection. So now applications get put into different buckets. Doesn't matter. But basically, depending on how the users are interacting with the different things that you're providing, your app gets upgraded or lowered in the amount of Facebook resources it can actually use. So if lots of people are reporting your emails as spam, or lots of people are hiding your notifications, you'll actually start losing your privileges, and you won't be able to push as many messages out. And alternatively, if people are saying, show me more of this and all of those kind of things, you get more and more privileges, and you can send more and more information, and you can notify and do all of those kind of things. So they're actually rewarding good behavior, and good apps. So that's sort of the largest shift we've seen, I think, from a technical perspective, as to, they're sort of encouraging good citizenship. So yeah, it's good.
So that's a popularity contest across all users rather than a small demographic within Facebook. That would be an average across all users responding to that.
Well, that's everyone who's specifically responding to your app.
Yep.
So if I've had an app and my friends hate the notifications, that actually weighs against the application in general. So yeah, that's an art form, becoming an art form in itself to try and game those buckets, I guess.
But also affects your
Any further questions? Yep. Well, what we might do is take a break here. It's been a long session thus far. Thank you very much once again, Toby Hede. If we can give Toby a round of applause. Thank you, Toby. His second presentation at the Facebook Garage.